Welcome to the investment markets overview for the week ending the 19th of March 2021. Central banks control interest rates, or so goes the myth. Well, there were three monetary policy meetings this week: the U.S. Federal Reserve Bank, the Bank of Japan and the Bank of England. This week's overview not only dispels this myth, it highlights who really controls interest rates and paints the picture of who is really in control, starting with the all-important Federal Reserve. The left-hand chart shows the U.S. Fed rate following the U.S. 3-month interbank rate, not leading it. Furthermore, the interbank rate and just about every other interest rate in the real world are controlled by the market, you and me and anyone else who has to make a decision on lending or borrowing. More worrying for a highly indebted world is that the interest rate worm has turned, as can be seen within the right-hand chart of the 30-year Treasury bond yield. Having already jumped by 150% since last year's record low, the red horizontal lines suggest that far higher interest rates are likely, regardless of the Fed's rhetoric. The overview includes the performance statistics for the main stock indices. These were mixed and volatile, as were the cryptos and commodities covered within the full 5-page overview. Whilst sovereign bond yields were higher across the board, the currency winners and losers are also highlighted. Whilst the regional coverage looks at the surprising facts surrounding U.S. retail sales, UK interest rates that matter, with further myth-busting charts on the Bank of England and for the Bank of Japan. We conclude this week's overview by returning to the subject of U.S. federal debt, a euphemism for taxpayer liability. This eye-watering picture shows the sheer scale of the debt to the size of the economy. It also highlights at top right, the diminishing pool of actual taxpayers that this falls on. As the interest rate worm breaks into a jog, this can only get worse. A final performance table for the major stock indices since the year 2000 concludes the investment markets overview. A 1-month trial of this 40 times per year publication is available for less than $15. It's an ideal opportunity to grab the bargain discount for 4 publications. We strive to turn the technical into investment made easier, by way of factual charts and plain speaking. Join us for a guide through the maze of economic and market data via the weekly 5-page overview.